everyone, my name is Tori. This is Novel Life. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another reading vlog where I'm gonna read through all the series that I am in the middle of. So I've been doing these reading vlogs. I think this will be like the second or third one that I've done, where I pick some books out of my reading journal where I have kept up with series that I'm in the middle of. So I'm in the middle of over 50 series, okay? And that's like the ones that I want to continue, not the ones that I've like said to myself, okay, you were actually never gonna continue those series because you don't really like them, you know? So 50 plus series that I actually want to read through. Will I read through all of them before the end of the year? Probably not. It's a goal of mine and I will really try to do that, but I have so many books in front of me that I want to read for this vlog. Will I get through all of them? Probably not. Probably not, but these are the ones that I am thinking of reading. I am a mood reader, so I give myself a little bit of, what's the word, grace with reading vlogs. I allow myself to like not read something if I don't want to. Anyway, on the top of my priority list for this week and what I want to read is this chunker of a book. Heat of the Everflame. So this is actually the art copy from Atria, and this book comes out on the 11th of March, which I think you're seeing this after that. And I have had this in my hands for so long. I do have the Kindle version as well. I got it off of NetGalley. I read Spark of the Everflame and Glow of the Everflame last year. I gave Spark of the Everflame 4 stars and I gave Glow of the Everflame 5 stars. I really like that book. Now, I had some friends that read this when it was still indie published and they said it wasn't the best follow-up to the second book. But this is a chunky book, okay? So like paperback wise, this is almost 800 pages, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's a little over 800 pages. She's thick, but she's floppy. I don't really read paperbacks because my hands hurt. I do know that the audiobook is available. So I can use a credit and I can get the audiobook, but I don't know if it's the actual, like, I don't know how much they changed because I know the audiobook was available when it's indie published. That's very confusing. I just don't know like if the audiobook is the same as like the ebook, so I'll probably start reading on my Kindle, see how I think about it, and then maybe pick up the audiobooks. I did read Spark of the Everflame on audio last year and I liked the narrators, they were fine. So this is a continuation in this Kindred Cursed Saga series, so book number 3. I think Penn Cole did an interview during like Romanticycon or something, and she said that the 4th book, which is Burn of the Everflame, is not coming out until like 2026. So I have time, but I really want to get caught up considering this comes out on the 11th with Atria. So I'm very excited. That's a long-winded explanation. That is a top priority read for me. So that one is one I really hope to get through. If I start reading it and I'm not vibing with it, I will put it to the side, only because it might not be like what I'm in the mood for right now. Now, another series I'm in the middle of is this series. Oh my gosh, House of Bane and Blood is the first book. I don't know what the series is called, but it's by Alexis L. Minard. So book 2 is City of something, Mirth and Ruin. The picture right here. I have this on Kindle. So this is the second book in this duology. It's the conclusion to their story. So I really do want to read this one too. This is also on Kindle. I could get the audiobook, but I don't want to like flat out buy audiobooks until I start reading it and see how I'm feeling. Anyway, that's one I'm in the middle of. Another book that I really want to read is Kingdom of Claw by Demi Winters. So this came out March 4th, traditionally published wise. This is the indie paperback. I've had this since I bought the first book, beginning of 2024. Yeah, I read Road of Bones at the beginning of 2024. And that ending was, I have a lot of questions. We'll just say that. So I did start reading this, I think last year, and I got like 100 pages in. I was not in the mood for a romantasy, but I've been in a very big romantasy mood lately. I don't know what it is, but that's all I want to read. So this is another contender for this week. I do have a contemporary romance, King of Pride. I'm outing myself a little bit. I'm a Anna Huang stan, okay? I read all of her books, minus the first series that is just now being republished. I think they changed the like point of view from like first to third or third to first. Forgot which one. But they're like with the sprayed edges, all pretty and stuff. That's contemporary. And then this. This is the only book in the Kings of Sin series I have not read. So King of Envy, the green book, comes out in April. I think it's still April. Is it April? And I skipped this book. I don't know why I skipped this book. I don't know. I don't know why I skipped this book. But now I really want to read it considering that King of Envy comes out in April. So it's March and I really want to get to this one. So maybe in this vlog, maybe in next month's vlog where I do like catching up on series. I don't know if this is also a contender. If I'm feeling a contemporary, I'm gonna pick up this one. Another contender is some of the JLA books. So I have this left in the From Blood and Ash series. So I've read all of the books except this. This is Visions of Flesh and Blood. This is more of a companion novel. I do have the audiobook for this. I bought it in an Audible sale, so it wasn't like super crazy. But apparently this is just a companion with like, it explains the lore of the world. I think a lot of people were very confused, and I actually think this would be a really good book to read going into the 6th book in this series. Yeah, 6 books that come out in June. So I do have a little bit of time, but this is also a contender I pulled off my shelf. Now, for the prequel series, I am 2 books behind. Okay, I have this chunker, which is a Fire in the Flesh. Damn, these titles, man. So this one, I put a bookmark in because I attempted to start reading it. This prequel series is not my favorite, but I do want to catch up on them before the 6th book in the From Blood and Ash series comes out. I think this is the conclusion. Oh, yes, the conclusion to her Flesh and Fire. This is a chunker of a book, though. This is, oh my god, this is 700 pages, and this font is so damn tiny. I do know JLA loves to be wordy, so this could be like closing out a series. I do have the audiobooks for these 2. I got them in an Audible sale. So I know these are a lot of contenders that I have. These are all the physical books that I have high on my priority list that I really want to read through. I will say the Alexis L. Minard book, which I have on Kindle, is a priority, but it's not top priority because I don't have it physically. I'm trying to read down my physical TBR this year. So if I can pick physical books that I have on my shelf to read, the better. That's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, that's a very long introduction. I think what I'm going to do tonight, so I think I'm going to start, I don't have anything to read. Like I just finished a reread of a book and I want to dive into this. So this will be my first book that I pick up tonight, and we'll see how far I get, see how I feel. I might need the audiobook to help me get into it and help me read it, but she's a chunker. But I'm very excited because I've heard really good things about this series and I just want it to continue. But also I know this is going to end on a cliffhanger. And now I know they really have to wait till 2026 for the next book to come out. So that's going to be a struggle. But anyway, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read this book, and then we'll see what we get up to this week. Yeah. I truly mean this. I feel like I've been reading this book for like 100 years. Seriously, I feel like I've been reading this book for like 100 years. So I have spent the last 2 days, I went to a bookstore yesterday, which you guys saw. Mimi is here. Hello, kitty cat. I went to a local, like, I thought it was a romance-only bookstore. It's just a bookstore. They opened up near me, and I wanted to go see what they had. I met some really fun creators and like bookish people there, and it was just really fun to like shop around and stuff. So you guys already saw all that B-roll. I did get Siphon Sparrow. That's upstairs. Now, I got the audiobook for this, and I have the physical art copy, but with Atria, they give you the ebook copy if you want. So I got it through like NetGalley, and I've been listening and reading along like when I'm in bed and stuff like that. and it's completely the same. So I know that the audiobook of this was published before it got trad picked up, so I don't think they changed anything from the indie to the trad, which, I mean, that's great for me because I'm listening to the audiobook. But when I tell you, I have been so productive. I'm 36% of the way through this book. And I do hope to get to 50% tonight, which I probably will. It's kind of early. But when I tell you I've been so productive reading this audiobook, yesterday I came home from the bookstore, I took a nap, felt great, it was fantastic. I woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna unhaul a bunch of books. So I filmed a complete unhaul, and I couldn't obviously listen while I did that because I was filming it, but after I was listing some on Pango, I was organizing it, I rearranged my shelves, and I was listening to the audiobook, and it was great. I got through a decent amount. And then today, it was daylight savings today, which has had me all screwed up. It does not feel like 9:30 at night, but it's 9:30 at night, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like it's only 7:30 or 8:30. Anyway, we had to go to Men's Warehouse to get a suit for my husband. We have a wedding this coming weekend, and he had to go pick out his suit separates, whatever you call it, like the jacket, the pants, all that. So he did that, and then I came back and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go upstairs, edit, do some more organization stuff, and I was listening to the audiobook. And then we had dinner, and I came downstairs and I said, you know what? I have the audiobook. Let me do something else productive in my house. And I cleaned out my closet. I got rid of a whole bag of clothes. I usually take them to like my local like charity shop and just donate them, and I'm gonna do that. I have another bag in there from last year when I did this, but I never actually took it. So we have like a laundry room that has like storage area, so it's been there. So I'll take 2 bags and donate clothes, but it's clothes basically from the winter because now we're getting into spring. Anything that I did not wear during the winter, it's gone. I organized some stuff. I threw some shoes away. Well, I say threw. Donated some shoes, organized my drawers because I have too many sweatshirts and t-shirts that I had to like rearrange some stuff. So I was super productive, and I've gotten through 36% of this book. Now, I will say, I love Luther. I loved Glow of the Everflame. That was a 5-star read for me. This feels very, I don't want to say drawn out because I hate using that word, but it does feel like a little drawn out. Like, they have gone at the beginning of this book. It picks up right after Glow, and they go to this one particular place. Someone gets injured and she has to help them, yada yada yada. The whole found family picks up, and then they go somewhere else. They cross the border and they go somewhere else, and that is the same thing. Someone gets injured, someone is doing this. Now, I do know that this whole book is about Diem realizing her potential, finding the balance between being a friend and a queen, of having power, owning that power, being able to make decisions and be in charge with that power. So she's struggling with that a lot. Now, what I don't like about it is that she's struggling with that with Luther. She basically was like, Luther, you cannot be my right hand right now because you don't trust, like, I can't trust you to like really put what I want ahead of like my safety. And obviously they have like a lot of romantic stuff. I don't know if they're mates, because I don't know if there's actually like truly mates in this series, but like clearly there's something. And I love Luther. He is literally like only there to give his life to her. At any moment he is ready to give his life to her. And I want that same reciprocation. I want that same thing on her side. I want her to be able to like want to give her life in an instant for Luther. Like, that's the kind of love I want. I don't know if we'll get to that, but it does feel a little drawn out, and I'm not like loving that part of it only because of that. I'm waiting for just like more to happen. Actually, let me look at the map really quick, because they talk about this one place. I was trying to see where they are. They're talking about crossing the border. They're just like going to this one place, doing this thing, going to this other place, doing this thing. Well, I'm not saying that she's basically the queen. She did have a run-in with the king, and that was really interesting because she got to use her powers. It alluded to something. I don't want to say what. Luther used his power. Like, it's fine. I'm not like wholly obsessed. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I were to sit down and physically read this and listen to the audiobook, I would get ridiculously bored. Hence why I've been so productive, and I put the audiobook on while I'm doing something else that I want to do, because that is how this is going. Like, I am not solely invested in the world. Like, it's fine, but we haven't gotten there yet. So I'm really, really, really hoping that it gets better. I know in the back of the book, the blurb does say like they have they're going across the realms and on this journey to find her heritage, and I understand why, but it's just like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it needs to be this long. And I could be wrong, and the end could make up for it, but that's where I'm at. So I'm not like solely in love, but we shall see where we go. I'm gonna continue listening after I take a shower and make some graphics maybe. Sit with Mimi. Hi, kitty cat. Anyway, I'm gonna go. That's my little quick update. I really don't know what I'm gonna pick up next, because tomorrow I start back up with work, so I don't think I can listen. I don't know, I could listen to this audiobook. I haven't decided. So I'm gonna see what kind of work I have, like, task-wise to do if I can't listen to an audiobook, but I have no idea what I'm gonna pick up next. We'll see if this puts me in a slump. I hope it doesn't, but yeah, that's my update. 36% through this behemoth of a book. Wish me luck. Guys, I have a pretty big reading update for you. My bun is bunning today. I have been a busy bee all day. Let me tell you though, this book, she's chunky. She is chunky. Oh my God. So I'm like 60% through. I'm in the home stretch, okay? So I've listened to a third of it today-ish. I'm in the home stretch, okay? I got this much left. I wish I can tell you, okay, I wish I could tell you that this series, like, after book 2 just keeps getting better and better and better. Book 2 is my favorite in the series. I've said that a couple of times now already, right? I wish it got better. I loved book 2, but this book is really, I'm struggling. If I didn't have the audiobook, I don't know, I would have DNF'd this book. And I feel horrible about that because I love these characters. I love the found family aspect. I love all that, but I do not like a book where they're just going from one place to another and getting information. And just now at like the 50% mark, they really honed in on, oh, maybe her powers are a lot more than we thought. And she's, you know, growing, and it's a lot of character development with her, but it's like mostly on the back burner. I don't know. I just feel like this does not need to be this long. Like, I love Luther so much, and we got to a point where they were like kind of fighting or kind of getting into it. And now I'm like, okay, great. We've kind of gotten over that. What else is between them? Because like this was like the slowest of the slow burn between her and Luther, and I want that. I want them to be like a force to be reckoned with. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want them to like come together, get on the same page, be a force to be reckoned with, because I know when that happens, like when they do come together, I know that they will be. So I'm really struggling with this, honestly. Like, I don't know. I know the next book's not coming out till next year at least. I think she said maybe 2026 in an interview she did. And I'm like, okay, cool, because I'll need a break because this is a chunker, but I wish I could say that it was worth it. And I'm hoping this lasts like 20-30% of every fantasy book ends on a big cliffhanger and something huge happens, because so far it's just been like little things and I'm like, okay, cool, but did it need to be this long? No. So that's my audiobook update of the thick girl. We'll leave her there. I did start on my Kindle last night, even though I do have this. I'm finally catching up with the Kings of Sin series. So, like I said, this is the last book that I have in the Kings of Sin series, and I figured it's the perfect time to finish it in March, because at the end of April, King of Envy comes out. Now, I don't think we haven't seen the hero for King of Envy yet, but we've seen Dante, who is in book 1. I enjoyed book 1. I gave that 4 stars. We do see Dominic Davenport, which is King of Greed, in book 3. And then we do see, oh my gosh, what is her name? Sloane, who is, I think, the female character of King of Envy? Nope, King of Sloth. I had to think, it's the color. I saw blue in my head. So we have seen her, and she mentions, like what she does. So yeah, we do kind of see all of those characters, except we haven't seen King of Envy yet. I don't know if he actually comes up in this book. I actually cannot remember. Now, I remember when I started this book, I got like 6 chapters in and I stopped it because my Kindle version had that. And this book doesn't hook you from the start. Like, you think like, oh, you know, they meet in a bar, they have a little bit of attraction towards each other, and it's gonna go from there. It's very boring at the beginning. It doesn't hook you like her other books. So, like, it doesn't draw you in that makes you want to keep reading. So I could stop at this like 20-25% mark-ish. So I'm gonna keep reading tonight. I'm gonna go take a shower. I feel very sweaty because I went grocery shopping, picked up groceries, cooked dinner, I organized my library. I have something coming, another bookshelf coming tomorrow that I'm doing a project for. So audiobook listening time has been great for this thick, chunky book, but I'm ready to sit down with my Kindle and read this book. I don't really hold physical books, but she's an author in this book. I forgot about that. She's an author, and she's trying to write her erotic thriller, which is kind of fun to follow along her with. So that's my update on this one. I have to go do all my showery nighttime stuff, and yeah, those are my 2 reads, those are my 2 updates, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow probably. Hello, I am in my library because I'm doing reading sprints with my Patreon, which I always do almost every week, unless I'm traveling, then I don't, depending where I'm going, what I'm doing. But I have a reading update, and it's not the best reading update. I finished Miss Heat of the Everflame, this thick ass book, guys. Ugh, I struggled with this audiobook. Okay, I'm gonna try and like put my concise thoughts all together for you, okay? I liked this book. I enjoyed this book, but not as much as the others. I'm landing at a 3-star. I think that's what it's gonna be. 3, maybe 3.5, probably still a 3. This is my first 3-star of the month, which I'm not like mad about, but my things with this book is that it was way too long. There was a lot of stuff that happened. Like, okay, books 1 and 2 led up to a moment at the end of book 2 that was like, wow, okay, we're getting somewhere. And this book had a lot of action. It had a lot of, let's go here, discover this, let's go here, discover that. Oh, we're discovering this. Oh, you know, DM is getting certain things about her. She's learning things, yada, 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 yada. And I don't mind that. But it was like the same thing over and over and over. And I know we had to like get to some place. Like I know we were trying to get to like a specific place. But damn, this was thick. This was a lot. And you're following the same 2 characters. Like that's my thing, is like you're following the same 2 characters. I mean, yes, you have like the found family and like her brother and Henry and what he's doing, her mom. Like there's a lot of plot lines that are happening, but it's really DM's story. And I'm like, I low-key got tired of being in her head for a little bit. Like, I get it, DM. I get it, you're struggling between being a descendant and like the human people. Like, I get it, I understand. But damn, how many times can you have the same conversation? So for me, it was just, I was ready to be done with this book, and I am done, and she is done, and she is going to sit here, and thank God I don't have to touch this series until 2026 because I need a break. I may go back and like reread it or whatever because I do have the audiobook. I used your credit to get the audiobook, but that one was really rough for me. That was rough. That was rough. But my next update is that I am 40% into King of Pride. And I realized I never said like what this book was. I feel like with Anna Huang's books, I feel like so many people already know what they're about. But basically Kai is the King of Pride. I mean, you don't know that. You don't know that going in. Anyway, he is planning to take over as CEO for the company that his mother runs currently, but there's going to be a vote, and that vote came a lot sooner than what he was thinking, so he thinks his mom is sick and yada yada yada, so he's dealing with a lot of like company stuff. And then Isabella, she is the bartender at Club Valhalla, which Club Valhalla is where like all the guys in the Kings of Sin series goes. So like she, you know, knows Dante. She's best friends with Vivian, which is Dante's wife. So like she's been around. Kaya's like seen her and stuff like that. And they start to have like, you know, conversations here and there. And she notices like, oh, he came on this day and not this day, yada, yada, yada. And now she's showing him like her side of New York. That's the part where I just got to, is like she has been in his side of New York with Vivian and Dante and like going to this nice restaurant and, you know, all this stuff like that, into the parties, and she's seen the Valhalla Club, so she knows like how business guys work and stuff like that. So now he is getting to see what her side of New York looks like, which is fun. I am not like solely attached to either one of these characters right now. I know why I DNF'd this book, and it was because you're not dragged, like when I said the beginning is boring, you're not like hooked like some other of the books in this series, like King of Greed, which is the next book in this series. You are hooked. Like it's very emotional. King of Sloth, you're hooked. You're like, oh, this is gonna be forbidden because she is like, he's her client and all this stuff like that. There was a lot going on with that. So yeah, like this one is just hasn't really hooked me as much, and I'm not like, I'm like reading it. It's fine. It's a contemporary romance. Like I'm enjoying them getting to know each other and the little moments stolen here and there, but I just don't know like what the stakes are going to be. Like what is the, I don't even know if there's a third act breakup in here. So I feel like not a lot of people talk about King of Pride. Like they either talk about Wrath, like King of Wrath, or King of Greed and King of Sloth. So I haven't really heard that much about this book, and I don't know, I don't even know what the average rating is, but I mean, I like seeing all the other characters because I've read all the other books, so like I know the characters, so I like seeing them, but they're just not my favorite. So yeah, if that means anything. Like Kai is typical billionaire. I mean, he has glasses and I think it's hot, but it's not like anything like major, if that makes sense. So that is my reading updates for that one. I will be starting on my reading sprints. After reading sprints tonight, eyeball read, I'm going to continue with King of Pride. I don't think I'll finish this tonight, not in the slightest, but I'm definitely make a good dent in this. Like I said, I'm 40%, so I hope to get at least 60%. That's much. I've been reading a little bit each day, and that's what I've been reading. The other two books I have to choose from are Kingdom of Claw by Demi Winters or A Torch Against the Night by Sabati Hare. So I started this series back in February, I think. So this is not finishing series, but this is more like catching up because I still have 3 other books in the series. This is on my TBR for March. I don't think I'll get to both of these because they're pretty thick books. This is like a 24-hour audiobook, and this one, my library had it, so I was able to grab it. It's a 15-hour audiobook, so this is a lot shorter. I just don't think I'll be able to read this. I don't know, who knows? I might be able to. I love the artwork. So I really enjoyed An Ember in the Ashes, which was the first book in the series. I loved, it was a very unique world, fantasy world. It kept my attention, and now the two characters' lives have kind of like crossed they like came to a point where they're crossing now and they're working together, and I'm like, this is what I wanted, so I'm very excited for this book. This is the book 2 in the Ashen series, which we follow, oh my god, Scylla. She was on the Road of Bones, and in the first book she had a lot of things happen. So I don't know which one I'm gonna pick up. These are on my radar. I don't know which ones this one I'll definitely be caught up in the series. This one I won't be caught up, but I'll be catching up. So it still counts. We're still counting it. I'm just going to see tomorrow which one I want to read, like which one catches my attention the most. But this will be my last, one of these books will be my last for this vlog. I have a wedding to go to on Saturday, so I have to end this on Friday so I can edit it in time for you guys. But yeah, that's my reading update. And I will talk to you guys when I get into one of these books and I have an update on King of Pride. I have a reading update for you guys. I'm very excited about my reading update. So I got through to 60% of King of Pride last night. So this is just giving like Forbidden, because she works at the club, he's a club member, billionaire vibes. That's what it is. The end. And it's giving like 3.5 star vibes. It's not my favorite in the series. King of Greed is my favorite in the series, but I think any book in the series will be hard to top. I mean, King of Envy could top, because Vuk, oh my gosh, I love him. We do see him in this book, and he's like quietly there, but he like doesn't really say anything ever, but he's like always watching. Anyway, I'm very excited for King of Envy. End of April, cannot wait. Anyway, with this, I will probably finish it tonight. I have a lot more physical time tonight to read. I don't have any plans other than to film a podcast episode with Jess. So I'm definitely going to try and get through the rest of this, like eyeball read with this. But like I said, it's giving like 3.5 star vibes right now. I mean, it's sweet. It's a sweet billionaire romance. Like that's, it's cute. It's cute. So that's this book. But the star of the show, after I updated my vlog last night, I talked to my patrons on Reading Sprints, and I said I finished Heat of the Everflame and I'm torn between Kingdom of Claw and A Torch Against the Night by Sabatier. And my patron said to read this one. I was more excited for this one, and I started it today. I'm literally 5% in, okay? This book literally picks up right after and It Burned the Ashes. Like, that book ends, the beginning of this book is immediately right after. So we are diving into action. I mean, the last 20% of And It Burned the Ashes was so action-packed, and I didn't know, like with most fantasy romances, the next book is like it slows down for a little bit and then the end of the book gets a lot of action. But no, we're jumping right in. We're jumping right into the action. We are seeing Elias and Laia. I think it's Laia. Elias and Laia. I'm listening to the audiobook because I love the audiobooks for these. Like the narrators are so good. This is like a very interesting series. I can't really talk about what happens in this book particularly because it's gonna spoil the previous book, but I love our female character. I love our male character. I love what Sabatier has like created with this like dystopian but also like different fantasy world. It's like a barren fantasy world. It's like not much is happening. Do they have a map actually? I don't know if there was a map in the first book. There was. Okay, it was of, oh, I see. Okay, so the map of the first book was just of like the college, like where both of the characters spend the whole entire time. And usually I don't like it when we're like stuck in one area, but now we've expanded in this book. So we get a bigger map of like the empire in total with like all of the different things. So you get to see like all of the places, which is very cool. So you can see like where the college like was, which is cool. But then where they're going in this book, or where they're trying to get to, is the prison, because our female character's brother is in there. And that happens at the very beginning of the previous book, but he's in prison, and so we get like an in-depth map of the prison. So I wonder if like most of this book is gonna take place in the prison. Anyway, this is curing my like 3-star, like annoyed with books that I'm reading vibes, and I'm here for it. I'm very excited to continue with this. I have a meeting to get to. I have to work for the rest of the day. I have to record a podcast episode with Jess, but in between all of that, I will be listening to this book because I'm very, very, very excited to continue on with this series. So I won't be caught up with this series because I still have 2 books after I finish this one, but we're reading series we're in the middle of, and I am loving this one. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to continue listening to this book because the audio is fantastic, and I'm very invested in these characters. And if you have not read this series, I'm only like 5% into the second book. Read it. Just read it and do yourself a favor. Anyway, that is my reading update for these 2 books, and I will probably chat with you guys tomorrow. I deadass thought today was Thursday. Today's Wednesday. I was like, oh, tomorrow I have to close out this vlog. No, I don't. Anyway, I'll let you know when I have a reading update. we're doing a little vlog inception. I actually just filmed an outro to A Day in the Life that's actually coming next Sunday. I pre-film a lot because I'm going out of town, so sometimes I gotta keep up with this stuff. Anyway, I have a reading update for you. It might be 10:30 at night, but I have a reading update for you. Okay. I finished this book last night. I am gonna land a 3.5 star. It's solid. It's Anna Huang's writing, which I do enjoy. It's a billionaire romance. I do not like the third act breakup because it was mostly on her, where she was like, no, you're too rich and too good for me. I don't need you. And he was like, okay. I'm like, no. No, it took him a little bit to fight for her anyway. So, like, it was just a billionaire romance that they were conflicted and, like, how to be together because she was, like, writing a book and his parents and his mother specifically didn't think that she was good enough, and there was all these other things. He was trying to get the CEO vote. Like, there was just a lot of things that played into that, if that makes sense. So I landed at a 3.5 star for this. But I am now caught up on the Kings of Sin series, and I'm very happy about that. So when King of Envy comes out, I can say I've read this whole dang series, and I'm ready for King of Envy. I'm ready for Vuk, okay? Like, I'm ready for that guy. I'm ready for his story. Anyway, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. But I will say, out of the series, King of Reed is my favorite. I don't know if a book will ever top that. I was crying by, like, chapter 6 in that book. So, yeah, it's just hit me really hard. Anyway, so that's my rating for that one. But while I was working today on some stuff, sometimes with fantasy, I can't always, like, listen and do stuff, but I am 22% in, so I'm on chapter, is that 9? Yeah. Okay, this series uses, like, Roman numerals, and, like, I'm good for most of them, but, like, sometimes I'm like, I have to think, like, Roman numerals, you know what I mean? That's not 9. I'm on Helene, right? Is that, did I read it wrong? Oh, I'm on chapter 11. That's why. The I is after the X. Mimi's here. Okay, so 22%. I am going to take a shower tonight and read some of this. I hope to get through most of it because I've been wanting to read this all day and I just haven't had time to, like, sit down and listen. I read a little bit while I was cooking dinner, but of course my dinner took only like 30 minutes to cook, which is nothing when you're listening to an audiobook. Anyway, we get a new point of view in this book. So you may have, if you are reading the series, we get Helene's point of view, and listen, I was not a fan of her at the end of the Ember and the Ashes. I was like, I don't like this girl. I don't like her at all. But now I'm seeing her point of view. I'm like, damn, I kind of feel really bad for her. But I'll tell you, the author, she does a really good job balancing the points of view so you don't feel like you're taken out of the story from one character. Like, I love Elias and Laia right now because they're, like, traveling, they're trying to figure things out, they're, like, running away, like, very action-packed, and Helene is just still in the college, still with the Commandant, like, all of these things, and it's kind of, like, stagnant for her, while the other two characters are, like, going. So it's a nice change of pace when we go from, like, the going to the pause for her, but I don't feel taken out of the story, which is very important to me. Hi, Mommy. She wants her pets, her nighttime pets too. So I'm going to continue reading this. I'm having such a good time with this. I just needed this book, and I'm so glad I picked this one up. So I do hope to get to at least 50% tonight, but I'm gonna hope to finish this by tomorrow at some point. I think I have a lot of, like, graphic stuff to do for work, and I can listen to an audiobook, so that'll be fun. I didn't have time today to do that, but I'm very excited to continue to read this. I'm loving it. Anyway, that is my reading update. We're continuing series, and I will chat with you guys tomorrow probably when I finish this book, actually. But I'm ready for this to break my heart, because I have a feeling it might break my heart. Yeah. I love this book. So I gave book 1 4 stars. I've said that. I'm giving this book 5 stars. I literally just finished it like 2 seconds ago before I turned on my camera, okay? I am kind of in awe the way Sabatahir has weaved this story together with all of the characters. I was tearing up in this book. Something happens to a specific person. That's all I'm gonna say. And I was like, my heart, oh my God. Okay. And while these are YA, they do have a decent amount of like dark theme, and I don't mind that, but it's like, I'm very surprised that this is YA, but I love this book. I love Elias, I love Laya, I love even Helene. Who am I? I did not like her in the first book. I was like, I don't like her, I think she's annoying, like I need her to move out the way. The things that happened in this book, I can't believe this is the same length as book one. Like, book one was steady and slow. We were like learning things, and this picks up, like I said, right at the end of that book. Like when that book ends, this book begins, okay? The things that were uncovered, it's like you learn a little bit more about the land, you learn about the world. I have a lot of questions about like certain magic, certain abilities, certain mystical creatures. Like they have a lot of creatures in here like Jinn that I don't think I've ever read before. If I have, it's more in like a creepy way. This is about spirits and ghosts, and Elias is so amazing. Like he is a character where he's like physically strong. He can take down a lot of people. Like at the core of him, he is trained to be a mask, right? But he has this like soft spot to him, and we learn something. I'm still trying to process everything that I learned, but I love this book. I love this series. I'm so happy I am reading this series, because like I like it that they're not super long fantasy books, but the world is so intriguing. The characters are so intriguing. The side characters are even intriguing. Like I have loved all the side characters we have met, and I'm just like very invested in even their story. And like I said, we get Helene's point of view in this book, which I was not expecting, but Sabatihir writes it in a way that's like a perfect balance between like what Elias and Laya are doing and like what they're trying to accomplish and where they're going and where their story's going, but not feeling like taken out of the story. And for me, when I have POV switches outside of the main characters, I get annoyed. So I don't know in the third book what characters we're getting, but I love it. Like, let me just show you. Elias is so powerful, like, but it's funny because everyone thinks like, oh, he's gonna be so powerful, he's like the hero, blah 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 blah. Laya, that girl is something else. I know she's gonna go far, okay? She's gonna go far, and I know it. I'm just telling you, I'm in love with this story. I'm in love with this book. I'm in love with this series. I'm halfway through this series, and I cannot wait to see what Sabatihir puts into the next books. But I will say that I think I'm gonna put one book on my TBR, like one book in April, because I have my rest of my other TBR to get to for March, which includes like Fairy Tale, like a super thick book and stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to read down some of my March TBR and maybe pick up the third book before the end of the month. That's if I have time, but I'm traveling and stuff like that, so I really don't know if I'll have time to read it. But this series, guys, if you pick up any series, pick up this series. Like, it is so good. Yes, it's YA, but I promise you it doesn't read like that. I'm trying to see something that it reminds me of. It's not dark in like a Melissa K. Warwick dark fantasy way. It's like, it's not YA like Adeline Grace. It's not like that. I'm trying to figure out what this reminds me of. It's not like One Dark Window. It's like a new adult. Like their new adult age, but it's like with adult themes, if that makes sense. So anyway, I've been yapping for too long. I'm here to close out this vlog because I literally just finished this book. I'm in love with this book. Everyone needs to go read this freaking series. Please go read this series. Please, please, please. If you've made it this far in the video, because I know it's a really long vlog where I caught up on series, I'm very, very excited that I caught up on series. I do love to do these vlogs, so I'll probably do one every single month. So be sure to subscribe to see my next vlog in April. I do have a Read It or Unhaul It video coming later this month, which I am also reading some on my physical TBR, which I'm very excited about. But if you made it this far and you want to let me know, leave me a fire emoji, because the fire, if you know, you know, okay? Leave me a fire emoji in the comments down below. I don't know if there's a torch, so that's why I didn't say leave a torch, but leave me a fire emoji in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content from me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you on my next one. Bye, guys.